What's up and welcome back to the channel. All right, so in this video, we're going back to Dr. Umar Johnson, one of the biggest grifters in the conscious community out there. And I know we've been doing stories here and there about things that's been happening, the situation with his bank account, so on and so forth. Now, in this video, though, there's a developing story that I just found out about. So there's a lady who had been working with Umar to do a documentary, right? I'm gonna have some links in the description too, because her full story, she has a story, it's a long video. There's a bunch going on. I'll leave the link so you guys can kind of look at that on your own. She ended up doing this documentary. Uh, Umar convinced her to use her own money. This is long story short, convinced her to use her own money. Then when it came time to view it, he started to flip the script, threatened to sue her for 500 grand, so on and so forth. She ended up suing him to get some money back. I think she ended up winning about 68 grand. And then something told her, okay, well, if he did this to me, he probably did it to other people. So she ended up getting some people together. So there's a class action suit now against him when it comes to the FDMG school. They want to know what's going on with the school, what's going on with the funds, so on and so forth. And so while this isn't necessarily legal action as far as the law is concerned, somebody has initiated some legal proceedings to hold Umar accountable. So I think that's a good step, a step in the right direction. All right. So now, having said that, let's go ahead and get into this video real quick.
For about the past year, I have seen a new name on the scene when it comes to the issue of Dr. Umar Johnson, and the name is Mary Ann Lorient. She is the owner and founder of Lorient Vision Production, and the way she knows Dr. Umar Johnson is through a film collaboration in which she brought him to Cleveland for 3 days. They worked together, and during that time, she provided him hotel and accommodation. And something went wrong in the business deal. She sued Dr. Umar Johnson, and then she won.
And that that something is, so he gaslighted her. He did his slick talk. And this should be in the video that I link below that story. I think I got two. I'll try to find a second link. I'll try to at least link two of them. But basically he gaslighted her, yeah, queen, this, that, and the other. Look, you go ahead and pay for it, and when all the money come back, you get yours out, you just donate to FDMG. So he gaslighted her. He did his slick talk, con talk stuff, and she fell for it. Look, some of this, as far as falling for some of this, is her responsibility. Now, that's not to justify being scammed, but she even says in her video, like, her antennas was up. So she just didn't go with her gut. She ended up footing the bill for everything. And of course, when she returned to him and she wanted him to do a final viewing, that's when he started tripping about it. Okay. And then he flipped the script, threatened to sue her, got lawyers involved, and all of that. So that's kind of just the short version of it.
Lorient is also a part of the larger conscious community. And not only did she provide opportunities for Umar to be in the film, she's also one of the people who donated to his school, FDMG Academy. And as we know, that school has never come into fruition. But Mary Ann Lorient, while she may not be very popular on social media, she is popular for one thing: coming against Dr. Umar Johnson. So on Christmas Day, she came out with some breaking news.
It's 40 of us. Now, the reason I'm part of it, yes, I did get a settlement, but they're using all my donation money to show that I was a supporter who did give donation and never received any receipt, and to backtrack to see if he followed proper procedure, whether he has donors, tax exempt, or whether I have to read the legal term to you guys, but before I lose my train of thought. So it's to show that she was a donor. She gave this money. Here are all her cashier check. She never received any receipts, so now he has to give accountability for that money.
Damn. And see, that's why Umar tried to move like he do, because he don't want a lot of it to be able to be tracked as donations, right? Like, for instance, if you just send him money on Cash App, he can just say that was a gift. That doesn't necessarily have to be a donation for the school per se. So he does things to try to be slick and to try to get around these tax issues. And, hopefully they can use her story and her donations and the others to prove that he's been misusing the funds. But it makes sense why he moved like he does when it comes to asking people for money.
Now, in this instance, her and 40 other people have decided to file a case against Dr. Umar Johnson. They've hired a lawyer and they want to know, how is the money being spent? What is happening with the funds? And when, if ever, is the school going to be open? But wait, there's more.
A letter from the attorney that's representing the party of 40 will be sent to him to show good faith that we're willing to sit down and to give him a chance to give an explanation to why this school hasn't been open, or when will this school be open, and then to give explanation on how the donation money is used. Is it being used appropriately for what the donor has given the money for?
In so many words, she's going to allow Dr. Umar Johnson, her and the other 40, basically to give him the opportunity to respond to the claims. Now, she was included in the suit also because she has all the receipts of all the money that she's ever given him, and so do the others. Yet there has been no activity with this money. And of course, we have heard this from other people. But the other things that she's talking about is very, very disturbing.
All the donor, there's one person we tried to include, but they kind of reject her out. This is the woman that I was stating. She didn't fit the criteria, so they claim. But they said she could get an attorney, and the reason she didn't fit the criteria, they call it a romantic encounter. She did give him access to her bank account, where I shared in the last video where he took that $6,000. So they reject her.
She'll claim that.
Now, the story with that lady is pretty crazy too. There's a long story that she goes into about that lady needing a ride, her not giving her a ride. But anyway, this lady that she said wasn't included, apparently Umar invited her over to a hotel. They did their thing. Umar kicked her out and she didn't want to leave. Hotel staff got involved, made her leave because it wasn't her room. Yeah, it was a big messy story. So he essentially used the lady for sex and for money, kicked her out, and now this is part of the reason why she can't be a part of the lawsuit.
Yeah, one of the women could not be involved in the lawsuit because the woman who has 4 kids was dealing with Dr. Umar Johnson. In other words, Dr. Umar Johnson was sleeping with his donors. And not only was he sleeping with her, Dr. Umar Johnson removed $6,000 from her bank account without permission after a romantic encounter. But then there's another serious allegation that she's going to leverage against Dr. Umar Johnson.
You were stranded from 7 a.m. So yes, Miss Mary Ann. He asked me to come. He wanted to go over the scene. He said, come on. I don't know if she was telling me the truth or in other words, she said he asked her to come. He wanted to go over some scene, but there was some flirting on both parts. So she was a willing participant. She went to the room. So she said when she got to the room, everything was cool. And then she said, I don't have to get into detail. She was very detailed with me, but I don't have to get into detail. You guys understand what took place. And then she said, after that, he said, you need to leave.
Yep.
And then she told me, she's like, I told him, I said, when you asked me to come, my cousin said, there's not enough gas for me to drop you and come pick you up, or you're going to have a ride back. And I told them when I was on the phone with you, you told me, come on, we'll figure it out. And she's like, I don't have a ride back. I can't leave. And she said he was insisting, you can't stay here. I'm a leader. They can't pick me up in the morning and I'm coming out of my hotel room with a woman. You have to leave.
Woo! This allegation is really strong because Dr. Umar Johnson invited a lady over to his hotel room and he clapped the hell out of her cheeks and then basically kicked her out. The woman had no way to get back home. And Dr. Umar Johnson said, listen, I'm a leader and they can't catch you coming out of this room. You have to leave right now. Now, again, we can sit here and say, all right, this lady, Mary Ann Lorient, she's upset. She's a hater. There's no way that this is true against Dr. Umar Johnson. This could not have happened. But then we have proof that Dr. Umar Johnson does mess with his followers.
To feminine energy, when she took her underwear off, brothers and sisters, she smelled like something crawled up inside of her and died. She smelled like an old fish tank. You ever smell a fish tank that somebody ain't cleaned in like 2 years?
No.
They got goldfish in there. They got all kind of fish. And it ain't been cleaned in years. That's what she smelled like when she took off those funky ass drawers. Her drawers were so old and so funky that I thought it was a wife beater. That's how stretched out her drawers was. Her drawers were so old and so funky, I thought her underwear was a slingshot. Her drawers were so funky and so stank, brothers and sisters, that I thought it was a wife beater, brothers and sisters. And I don't mean no disrespect. So when she said, it's my turn.
Oh my goodness.
After she got finished swallowing the Shango, she said, it's my turn. After she got finished swallowing the Prince of Pan-Africanism, she said, it's my turn. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, how do I get out of this?
Not only does Dr. Umar Johnson prey on women, he takes their money, okay? And not only does he take their money, and this is true because Dr. Umar Johnson typically deals with middle-aged women, typically single mothers. He doesn't deal with women that he spends money on. That's one of the tricks that Mr. Umar Johnson, aka Jermaine Shoemaker, will do. He will deal with women that are 40s, in their 50s, pleasantly plump, and he'll make sure these women have resources. He can use their car, things like that. He'll also ask those women to take care of his mother, because if he gets somebody young, 25, 30, he'll have to spend money, and Dr. Umar Johnson ain't spending no money on no cheeks. And we've already heard him talk about the ladies' private parts, what they smelled like. He admitted what the lady did and swallowed the Shango and all of that. And this is a person that is saying that he's a black leader. And now what you're hearing from other black women is, listen, Dr. Umar Johnson not only scammed me, but he's also taken advantage of other women. When we invited him to a film project in Ohio, there is evidence that she's given on 2 occasions. One lady who could not be involved in the lawsuit, and a lady that she saw or she knew about within her production of her film, in which she felt bad because she refused to help that lady at the time. But here is the most important thing that she said about this whole situation.
I was outnumbered. You have to understand, these are conscious people, and they wanted to do the route of sitting down. In the conscious community, going to court, it's not a thing they really practice. That's something that will be used for the extreme last resort, and he knows this. And I think he preys on that. And also for me, with someone with a religious background, they advise you to take 1 or 2, settle matters. Court is also used for a last resort. But what I want to say publicly is there's a lot of people that may not give their money back, but I'm glad that I was able to retrieve mine and help a select few to get their money back and to stop him from preying on the community.
She says something that's remarkable. and I've talked about this on my channel. She says, you know, in the conscious community, when I wanted to do this, I was outnumbered. People in the conscious community or the pro-black community don't want to go to court. They don't want to tell on people. It feels like I'm using the white man to bring the black man down. So they typically like to keep this out of court. You know, let's talk to the brother. Let's not bring it out to the public. But what happens is Dr. Umar Johnson, he preys on that. He hopes that you won't tell.
They all do. Umar, Brother Polite, all them people, man. And this is something that as a community, we got to stop letting these dudes like, look, you're not going to get rid of scammers. Scammers are going to scam. They'll find a way regardless. But at the end of the day, whatever you got to do to expose these fools, you don't just keep letting them do it because of some stupid rule of there's some part of some stupid community. This is why you get things like children being abused and all of that stuff, because of these quote unquote communities where they keep silent and they want to handle everything internally, all the while people's lives are being destroyed. Like, that's a bunch of bullshit. That's not right. That's not justice. That's not how we should handle things. And so, you know, at some point, you got to think that some of these leaders are complicit, right? In one way or another, they're complicit and they need to be held accountable because they know what's going on. And they're telling these people not to do anything about it, essentially. Right?
This is why when he talked about the 50 Cent Diddy video and 50 Cent exposing Diddy, he said this.
And I have no problem with black people holding black people accountable. I'm having a problem with black people needing to expose black people that in-depthly.
Yeah.
But you never expose white people who do things to black people.
The reason why he said that, and I talked about it before, is because so many people in the pro-black movement or in the conscious community want to be able to deal in opacity. And opacity is basically lacking transparency,
right.
cloudiness, fogginess, right. And that's what they like. And so if they can stop you from telling on other black people and only worry about telling on the white men, then they can run free. They can sleep with women. They can go ahead and steal money. They can do whatever, be unaccountable.
All right, now look, he kind of goes on and on right there. So I'm gonna leave this part of the video alone for now. Now I'm gonna bring y'all a little bit from this video too, because she talks about it a little more, and then we'll wrap it up after that.
Umar's response was, "Don't trip about the money. That's petty." But when it was time to pay, the story flipped. He allegedly asked her to fund it herself for a future revenue split. She backed out.
Okay, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He reaches out.
Yeah, so he reached out to me. He was humble. He was gracious. The only little red flag I had, and then I didn't notice, I thought it was rude, but now, like, I'm the type person, when something goes south, I go back and try to re-examine stuff. He was like, next time, if you could get 4,000 is first of all, just say thank you. He told me next time if I could get 4, and I thought that was rude and a little bit.
At a certain point, you donate to him in 2019. At a certain point, he asks you to do a documentary of his life. What do you remember? What year that was?
The documentary, we established a rapport. It was like probably around 2000 or end of 2019. He asked me.
Okay.
Yeah. I know you like timeline, but I can't remember exactly the date and time.
Yeah. So the end of 2019, could it have been 2020, the beginning of 2020?
Yeah, beginning 2020, around that time frame.
Okay.
So he asked me to do a documentary on his life. And look, again, I'm a filmmaker. My antenna just went bing! Because he has an established audience. He has a platform. But I was transparent with him. I said, Doc, I make feature film. I have never done a documentary. He's like, so what? You're a producer. I said, yeah, that documentary and that film, that's two different beasts. They are cousins. The process of doing a documentary is not the same process of doing a film. Like, the documentary is very detail oriented. It's involved with fact. And then after you collect your data, you have to do an observation of the subject. I said, someone of your caliber, I don't think I'm the right person to do the documentary. Quit playing with me, Queen. Quit playing with me. I have hard regard for you. I want you to do it. I will back you 100%. I will put my sweat into this. Yo, Queen, when I say Doc is on board for something, just say you don't want to do it, but you have my full support.
He then pivoted, convincing her to make a feature film instead. She funded everything, production, travel, you name it. And then, when it was finished, he refused to even watch it for a screening unless she sent him a full digital copy, a move she saw as a power play, especially since he'd never signed the formal contract they discussed.
The financial report.
Yeah, so right here is where that discrepancy came in, and he threatened to sue her. But of course, he probably wanted that so he could have the film without having to pay. That's what that sounds like. At least she didn't give that up.
For the documentary. Again, it's like he asked me to do it, so I'm gonna present you what this gonna cost. So when I called, I said, Doc, like I told you, I don't really do documentary. I do film, but you were so inspiring to me. I took the project on, but this is probably the most costly project that I've ever done. And I kept it to a shoestring budget, Doc. When I told you I cut corner of finance, I cut corner. It's like, yeah, okay, well, what is it? We good. I said, it's going to be $86,000. I said, that's expensive, Doc. And he's like, nah, we're good. We could do this. He's like, Queen, you worrying about money. You worrying about the petty stuff. I said,
yeah, how much did you say? How much did you say it was going to be?
$86,000.
And this was for the documentary.
This is for the documentary. And I said, well, Doc, you're going to have to give them the entire money. It's not like a layaway plan or half up front, because, everything got to be paid as we go, because the documentary is like, we were going to capture. So we did research, we did observation. We were going to capture some live lecture. We were going to bring it fresh. So, and he's like, oh, listen, family. Oh, Queen, all my money is tied in FDMG. I don't have a risk since going this documentary. You go ahead and fund it. I'm going to put my sweat. You have my backing. When the money come in, you recruit what you put in, and then, just give a little something to FDMG. I don't even care if you don't give me nothing. I just want to live a digital imprint for these young boys that I'm going to create this school so they could know about Umar Johnson. I don't want no white man doing my documentary. He went on and on and on. And then I paused. So after I paused, I said, well, Doc, let me get back to you. 2 days later, he didn't even give me a chance to call me. He called me like, okay, what the verdict? When we starting? I need to email you these lectures. We need to get started. And, because I gave him a list prior to colors not to wear. And I want to take some picture of when I'm going to wear each lecture so you can tell me if it's okay. I said, Doc, I don't want to bust your bubble. I've already talked to production. Everybody morale just crashed. He's like, what? I said, I cannot take that financial burden. I just can't. As much as I want to, as much as it's in my blood boiling, I cannot proceed with that. That's like way too much of finance commitment. He's like, I don't understand. You have body of work. I said, yeah, I have body work. Film. I told you that documentary and that film or like cousin. I was willing to take a stab at it, but I can't take that financial risk, and I am not willing. So that's the business part of me. I got to my senses. See, when it's your money, you wake up quick.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And I could tell like he went down. He's like, oh, Queen. Okay, you said you can make a movie. I said, yeah, Doctor. Well, let's make a movie on the spot, just like that. I said, you want to make a movie? Yeah, let's make a movie. That's what you could do. But I don't have no money to put in no project. I will give you my sweat. You will have my undivided attention. You will have my support. I will push this film. I will give you my platform. He gave me a whole song and dance.
Yeah,
I'm like, now you're speaking my language. We're going to make a movie. So I said, I'm willing to pay for you. No, you send me the finished product. I said, first of all, that's not possible. It's on that film, but it's not like no DVD. And he couldn't understand the concept. I don't know if he think I was playing game with him. I said, Doc, I'm giving you an option to see it. No. You give me the finished product and then we move forward.
So this is from February 8, 2023. Umar states, you are not allowed to show that film without my approval. I have not seen it and I do not give you permission to screen it. And then you stated a private screening is just the executive producer to see the image on the screen and to hear the sound. And then he says, complete disrespect, all in all caps. You replied, how am I being disrespectful? Why are you so angry? Can you come to Cleveland and see it? And text when you capitalize everything that's shouting. And then you stated you were pleased with the project. Now all of a sudden you've turned against the project. I am baffled by all of this. I didn't say you couldn't see it. I asked you your location in Maryland and you ignored me. I offered to FaceTime.
And let me cut you.
The
location, let me cut you real quick. The location Maryland, because he was doing a lecture. The reason I asked him, I told Sarah, instead of doing the screening here in Cleveland, can I have my screening done in Maryland? So I tried my best to accommodate him. Please continue.
Yep. Let's go to the next one. This is again from February 2023. Everything needs to be, okay, so yes, you were pleased with the project. Now all of a sudden you're turned against the project. I am baffled by all of this. I didn't say you couldn't see it. I asked you your location in Maryland and you ignored me. I offered the FaceTime to show you the movie and you declined. You're not meeting me halfway. The file cannot be sent email. It doesn't have the capacity to be sent that way. It is too large. And I keep calling you and you're not even picking up the phone. And then Umar responds with everything needs to be in writing. I prefer text message.
Yeah, that's when he shut down. He no longer was calling me or accepting my phone call. He just wanted to communicate email and text. Communication was completely, verbal communication was shut down at the time. Please continue.
Yep, and this is February 8, 2023. I'm not speaking to you on the phone until I receive a link to watch the movie in its entirety. And then you replied, I did email you a contract. You already have that in writing before filming. And if you want, you could FaceTime and see the whole movie. I've given you two options to watch it, and you refuse to take either one of them. And then Umar said, I never signed any contract.
Yeah, because he didn't. He didn't.
Yep.
You see how conniving he is?
Yep. You do not have my approval to proceed with this film. I have not been given a link to see the movie in its entirety for my approval. I do not give you permission to include my likeness in any way, shape, form, or fashion in your movie. You do not have permission to use my likeness in any video, trailer, movie, except of any excerpt or of any movie, part of interviews, or any portion of the brand that is Dr. Umar Johnson or Prince of Pan-Africanism. You do not have permission to release any clips or trailers that depict the image of Dr. Umar or his related brands. You already posted a trailer without my permission. You are a deceitful, disrespectful, and unprofessional liar. I will see you in court.
He threatened to take me to court for $500,000.
So we see Umar. This is the marks of a manipulator, man, of a charlatan, of somebody who's a scam artist. And she knew. She just wanted to keep going. She went against her gut and her instincts. Like you can tell in them conversations about the difference between a documentary and film. You could tell what he was up to when he said you foot the bill and then nah. But she went against her instincts.
Y'all to listen carefully. He threatened to take me to court for $500,000. Now, when they put that on the table, the negotiation time, they want us to give a number. What number can you guys get from that $500,000? I will take it to my client. He would take that to Umar, and Umar.
So he flips the script. He tries to get the copy of the movie, probably to use himself. Can't get it. Tells her to cease and desist. Then tries to sue her to get money out of her and try to get her to settle. This is crazy.
Approve, or if he doesn't approve, Umar would give us a number, and then if we still are not cooperating to negotiate, they threat to take to court. Honey, listen here. You hear me? So we're like, listen, please file the proper paperwork. And I hat off to TJ. File the proper paperwork with the Greater Cleveland Court. We will see you in court. We're not negotiating anything. Now, you know, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm gonna be transparent. So the ghetto came out of me. I said, tell that chatty patty jazz that he's not getting a penny from me. And then he's like, Miss Lorient is gonna have that kind of language. We're ending. I said, we've been ending it. There's no negotiation. This is how Umar roll. So listen, I spent money for attorney. I had to give him another. That was the retainer fee. I had to give him more money because now we're preparing. These people are going to hit with paperwork to court. We're going to court. He's Umar Johnson. He has the fund to sue me. Okay. So when we called out his bluff, we never heard from his lawyer, never heard from him. He is a financial in the Black community. What he does, the time that he was connecting with me, he is intelligent. He was gathering data. He was studying his subject. He gave me two options. The first option is You won't spend your money. You're going to make this a finished product, and then I'm going to take it from you. I don't share the pie. I'm eating it all alone. See, he ran up on me. I am not no dummy. I said, no, there was a contract. We had an understanding. You're not going to bully me. I'm not giving you the finished product. Same way he gave me 2 options. Umar Johnson, you conscious. I'm giving you 2 options. Here's your option. From 2023, my time frame with you is 7 years. The perfect number, my number, that's God's number. 7 years. Your first option. And I'm still keeping hope alive. If FDMG open, I will show up at the grand opening with receipt in hand, because I got a cashier check. I'm so emotional. Let me calm down to get my thoughts. Okay. I got a cashier check. I contributed towards your vision. I believe in the concept of the village. I was part of the team that made the dream work. You understand? So I'm going to show up receipts. If he would lie that day, him and I, we both going to be at 6 o'clock. Because you know what? There's consequences to your action. I'm coming ready for him. And the second option he had, the same way, I didn't go to my first bank institute. I have 2 primary, not the first. I didn't go to Wells Fargo. Okay, I went to Huntington Bank the same way, willingly. You didn't put a gun in my head. Yes, willingly. I gave you that contribute for FDMG. Your option is you're gonna give me my money back. You're gonna go to your finance institute and give me my money back. And I'm giving you the choice to give it back. Just like I send you, you're gonna send it. I don't care about no other donor. But if there's no school, you're gonna defecate or you're gonna vomit me my money back.
The situation went nuclear. Mary Ann began releasing details from their private communications, and some of these details were highly damaging to his public persona as the Prince of Pan-Africanism. We're talking about specific, cringeworthy scene requests involving actors that completely contradicted his stated principles. This wasn't just online gossip anymore. This was a direct threat to his brand. So, what did Umar do? He didn't sue. He settled. His lawyers cut a check for $68,600 to make her stop talking.
The reason I wanted to come out to make this video is because I received a check as a settlement from Dr. Umar Johnson. During the week, I received an email, and the email was not claiming to sue me. It was from his attorney at Cleveland Law Firm, which has a sister firm and where he's from, Philly. So they reached out. They wanted to have a dialogue. They wanted to give me a form of payment for my hardship that I dealt with Dr. Umar, for my donation, and then for my therapy. What I did say, I went to therapy in one of the videos, so they did their homework pretty thoroughly. They wanted to reimburse me for that. And he wanted to move forward and not have me make disparaging video about him anymore. Okay. So I'm sitting, I'm like, disparaging video? I don't understand. Can you elaborate on that? Ms. Laurian, you're getting on your YouTube video, you're saying he's dating outside his race, which is factual. He doesn't date outside his race. I said, okay, so we're having a dialogue. Let me put some clarification. Well, we don't need, I said, you're going to allow me to speak, sir. You're going to allow me to have clarification. I said, first of all, I was gracious and I was kind. All I said on that YouTube video, he wanted to see with a Caucasian woman. I said, but I took my phone because we were having the Zoom meeting on my laptop, on my Apple laptop. So I took my phone on block and I sent a text, bleep. It went beep. I said, that beep you hear next to him, that's me texting him his own message, which is his acting number, his own message. I said, in that message, this is from Dr. Umar. He told me, Queen, this is how we're going to do this scene. I'm going to be bare-chested. This woman's going to have exposed breasts, and she's going to be pressing against my chest. I don't know if he thought I was doing a porn video, but he told him a feature film. But moving along, and they're like, well, we don't need, I said, well, I'm going to finish. Whether you want to hear it or not, I'm going to finish. I said, that's what he wanted. And then the scene, I'm going to break it down to you, family. The scene was for him to go, he came to his senses because he had a moment of weakness. This is him typing all this garbage to me. He came to his weakness because he had a moment of weakness. And he's going to go, no, I am a Pan-African leader. I can't stoop to this level. Black queen forever, snow bunny never, and I'm going to throw her off the bed. This is what he wanted to incorporate in the movie. And I said, no, we're not. We're having this dialogue. We're going to give you 6.
Okay, it was the movie thing, a movie scene. I think I might have said that wrong. My bad. But it was a movie scene of him struggling with the desire to have a white woman. It's all the same if you ask me. It seemed like somebody like Umar probably already had a few of them.
See, 68,600. I left the checks up there. I hadn't even cashed the check yet. The check's still up there. But what I did do, I sent a copy of that check to Honor because I promised Honor when I get paid, I would return back on this show and then I would do let the people know I got my money back.
Think about that. This is a man used to constant online criticism. For him to pay that much, the information must have been truly explosive. It was a classic go-away payment. But here's where it gets brilliant, and where Umar's plan failed spectacularly. That $68,000 settlement money didn't just disappear. Maryanne allegedly used it as funding for the next phase. She connected with around 40 other donors to Umar's FDMG school, people who gave money but have seen no school built and received no proper accounting. Now they have officially filed a class action lawsuit.
All the participants, like I said.
All right, and then this is just the rest of what we kind of already rehashed. I got one more video of a guy who went to the FDMG school recently, I'm pretty sure, and walked around. Check this out.
It's the same. You see this? Garbage. Garbage. Shoes. Boarded windows still. Nothing changed. Nothing fixed. Nothing changed. Nothing fixed. Look. Look. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. More graffiti. Look at this. More niggas is watching me. A guy's just watching me just now. Umar people just pulled up on me just now. A truck and a car. The car stopped, wind the window down. They said, are you a YouTuber? What you doing here? I said, nah, I'm going to the Boys and Girls Club. Look, he got people out here. Still graffiti, y'all. Still ain't did nothing, y'all. Still ain't did nothing. Look, the school rotting, y'all. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. Umar still lying. Remember, he don't show the back of the school. He don't show back here. He don't show back here. He's still lying, y'all. He's still lying. Look at this. Still lying, y'all. Still lying to us. Let me hurry up. Still lying, y'all. Lies, Umar. Lies, lies. 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 All right, now the people across the street watching me. Lies, lies. Lies, Umar. Doors chained up. No school is opening. Lies. Look at this. Still boarded up. He don't show this. He doesn't show none of that. Now they calling me. The guy across the street calling me. Excuse me, excuse me. Nah, bro. I'm over here. Garbage right there. Lies. Now I'm gonna tell you, let me hurry up. Let me hurry up and get to it, because I'm gonna tell you how slick he is. This is what Umar does. You know, he put fences up, cool. But this is what Umar do. Doors still rotten. And look at this. Nothing fixed right here. Remember right here, y'all? The wasp was coming out there. Wasp was coming out there. Ugh. Remember, these are the windows. That's mirrors. They're not real windows. He don't want you to see inside the school. Let's go up the ramp. Yeah, we're gonna hurry up. We gotta hurry up. Umar comes right here and show you this pretty door. Show you this pretty sign, and that's it. That's it. That's what he shows you. That's it. He shows you that. That's it. That's what Umar shows you. He comes right here, y'all. He stands right.
Yeah, I mean, marks of a scammer. So look, I'm in that right there, man. But look, again, the law ain't involved so far. Who knows what this class action lawsuit will bring? What type of level of accountability it'll bring? We'll make as many videos as we need to until this dude is out the way. Because honestly, I hate it. I hate that he's taking advantage of our people and and look, some of these people got to take a level of responsibility to continue to support this dude in the first place. Like, forget all that conscious community, keep it in the black community stuff. Forget all that. At some point, y'all adults, y'all got some sense, I hope. Like, hold this man accountable and stop with the bullshit. But we'll see what happened, man. We'll see what happened. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one.